And so, for those of us who are members of Draft Twitter, or I don't know if there's a Draft Facebook or Draft Instagram, but in the draft community, this is the time when many of us have started doing mock drafts. Some people started doing mock drafts right after last year's draft, which is indication that you have a problem. And I may have something of a problem, but not so bad that I start doing drafts right after the last draft. I'm going to start with the team that's going to be first on the clock and the team that has recently changed its immediate future and perhaps its long-term future by bringing in one of the most successful college coaches in the history of college football in Urban Meyer. And the assumption, and I'm not going to differ, I'm not one of those people who just tries to be different, I think Trevor Lawrence is the first pick overall. I can't imagine a scenario where they trade the pick or where they pick someone else. And it just makes sense. We can pick on his flaws, and every player has flaws. But his worst tape would still be pretty good tape for some players at his position. Trevor Lawrence is 6'5" and change. He runs well. He has a very strong arm. It's hard to find flaws. I'm not going to put him up there with Elway, and some people talk about Luck. In some ways, he's superior to Luck physically. I think he's probably a little behind Luck mentally. Mentally, because Luck was running maybe not 100% of an NFL offense while he was at Stanford, but he's probably running about 88, maybe not 88, 78% of a pro offense. Coach Bloomquist and Pep Hamilton and David Shaw were all guys with a lot of if not years, I guess, of NFL experience and guys that really understood offensive football, and they taught Andrew Luck a lot. And Tony Elliott and that bunch, don't get me wrong, at Clemson are really good too, but they keep it a little simpler. But yes, number one overall. Then the next pick 25, there were a couple other players that sort of floated to the surface. I love Rondell Moore, but it's too early for him. A little early for Asante Samuel. I ended up with Alex Leatherwood. He's maybe will find a way to right tackle, and some people even want to kick him inside. I think he'll end up hanging as a swing tackle initially and maybe settle in at right and possibly even the left side. And then with the next pick 33, once again, some of the players that is mentioned at 25, Asante Samuel, Rondell Moore, and guys like Chaz Surratt. And Chaz Surratt might be a guy that you might have a shot to take later. He's a very talented linebacker, but a project because he came to the position late and still developing in terms of diagnosing, reading, and reacting. Then I love Rondell Moore, so I'm not going to lie to you, I can't really be objective about him. If I'm picking at pick 33 and he's there, I'm knocking down people to pick him. Then next we come to the next pick, and once again, who's left? If somehow Asante Samuel's fallen to 45, once again, you knock people down. I think Chaz Surratt's probably the pick because he's the guy that would be there. The next pick, pick 65, I'm really excited about Brevin Jordan. I think he has enormous upside. Kenny Gainwell is one of my favorite running backs. He opted out of this season, but I think he has the talent to be a very talented part of a running back by committee system, and I think maybe eventually becomes the main running back there. Next up at pick 97, if Tylan Wallace from Oklahoma State is there, and he's one of those guys I'm afraid he's going to test better than some people might expect and not be there, but he's a terrific football player. If he's not there, I might make a move on a kid like Richie Grant, the terrific defensive back from Central Florida, and another guy that I'm not going to pretend I'm anywhere close to objective about. I love this guy. If Michael Carter's there and the other guys aren't, once again, if you didn't get Gainwell in the previous round, and who knows, maybe you take them both. I mean, the NFL has changed that very few teams really have one running back that gets 90 or even 80% of the touches. Now, if you have Robinson, Gainwell, and Carter, you have too many really talented running backs, but once again, the game has changed. I would probably pick another player, obviously, if I got both running backs. One running back, I would not take the second one the next pick. I want Tylan Wallace to be the pick there. And then next, I would take Greg Newsome, pick 121, the terrific, brilliant defensive back from Northwestern. And once again, you really need 7 or 8 really good coverage players who can get you the ball back. And they may not all play all the time. Depends on what situation you may play with. 2 linebackers, sometimes 3, sometimes 1, and there's very few true 3-4 teams left in the NFL, but some teams will play with as many as 4 linebackers in certain situations. Either way, if Greg Nelson's there, at 121, he's a guy I would just once again snap up. If he's not there, I would look at guys like Shaka Toney, the pass rusher from Penn State. If he's there, and then Trey Sermon. Once again, assuming I didn't get either of the other two running backs, I would even consider Trey Sermon. And then at pick 129, once again, the guys that I just mentioned. If for some reason Carter falls to them, if say I didn't get any of the running backs earlier, say I got Brevin Jordan at 65, say I got Tylan Wallace at 97, and I got Shaka Toney or Greg Newsome at 121, at 129 I would definitely get Carter if he's there. If somehow Tylan Wallace falls there, which he shouldn't, unless he runs a terrible time. But the player I'm projecting there, once again, if I got none of these early running backs, Jarrett Patterson from Buffalo, but who I'm hoping is there is Diami Brown, who once again will probably test too well to be there. And another guy I would even consider, and no one else in the world loves this guy like I do, but Ellerson Smith. And once again, whoever I didn't get the next round carries over to the next round, hopefully they're still there. Guys I would consider at 156 are all the guys I just mentioned, and then I'm going to throw in also Romeo Doubs, who is a fantastic, brilliant special player, and probably will test well, but not amazingly well. Other guys I would think about with that next pick moving on to the last round are Kerry Angeline, the former USC turned NC State tight end, who's another sort of big project kind of guy. And I'm going to throw in another special talent who's a Division II guy who I think will test through the roof. He's an all-conference sprinter in the 100 and 200 meters, and I think he's also competed in the 400 and 4x1. But I think his best race is the 200 and 400. But he's a special guy, and he's came to football late. He's from the Bahamas. His name is Michael Strahan, and he's from University of Charleston in West Virginia in the Mountain East Conference. And not enough people know about him, and I was. I'll be honest. Once again, I can't be objective because I've been watching him for a couple of years, and I've been agitating for him to get a shot in the Senior Bowl. Ended up not playing out, but he's a terrific talent. If he's there, I would take him. He's the kind of guy you might get as an undrafted free agent, but I wouldn't chance it. I would try to snap him up late, and then obviously you always look for quality depth on the offensive line. There's a lot of players I could see. And some guys might fall because of injury concerns and things like that. There's so many good players. Other guys I would have considered in some of the earlier rounds, I love Nixon, the defensive tackle from Iowa. If he's there somewhere in the third, I would definitely take him over a running back or a linebacker. But I ran about 3 different simulations, and I couldn't manage to get Davion Nixon in any of them. I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep running simulations until I get it. But that's where I'm starting with my first mock draft of the season. I'll try to drop 1 or 2 a week. And once again, let me know what you think, if I'm insane, if, whatever it is. Thank you.